We're getting ready for UFC Fight Night Vegas number 4, headlined by Poirier and Hooker. But Matt, second fight on the prelims. This is one that I'm really excited about. It's going to fly under the radar for a lot of people, but you have to check it out. The native psycho, Jordan Griffin, taking on the Moroccan Devil, Youssef Zalal. And Matt, we got rid of the timer, but normally I'd start it here. This is a really interesting matchup because for Jordan Griffin in the UFC, 1-2, he got his first win against TJ Brown in a fight that he was getting dominated in. Totally outstruck. Brown was 7 for 7 out of the takedown attempts until he got that one arm in guillotine and put poor TJ Brown to sleep. Now, we look at Jordan Griffin, and it's all of the parts into a whole where his striking in the second round looked like it was starting to improve until he got taken down more and more. I mean, he's a Rufus Sport guy, so he has really good guys to train with, the likes of the Pettis brothers, Paul Felder, the list goes on and on. But on the opposite side, if you're not familiar with Youssef Zalal, a guy that a lot of people were high on the regional scene, if we're talking LFA, if we're talking his UFC debut against Austin Lingo, he was an underdog in that fight. Lingo comes in, nice high boxing stance, just really chasing him down, pushing the pace. Zalal, great footwork, moves in and out, lands a couple of kicks, gets him into the clinch, takes the fight to the ground. Wore on him, cut him open in the first round, and he was able to put on a very, very good performance. And Matt, I think this fight is incredibly interesting because Youssef Zalal, and it's something that we talk about all the time, it's bringing all of the parts of your MMA game together. It's the movement on the feet, it's the strikes, it's the takedowns, it's the ability to, once you get the fight to the ground, are you able to dominate it, or is your opponent able to just spring back up or get back to the cage and wall walk? With Jordan Griffin, you kind of have to worry about that if you're taking on a guy in Youssef Zalal. I think it's a very interesting matchup stylistically because for Jordan Griffin to get a win, you would think, oh, well, he's probably going to get the submission win. And Matt, I was kind of surprised due to the fact that, yes, Jordan Griffin has a lot more pro experience. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's got, 15 more fights? So you're going to get this. He is a decent favorite. I mean, just slight, but decent. Minus 120 average for Jordan Griffin. Minus 105 for Youssef Zalal. Matt, what do you think of this matchup?
So, it's really interesting because it comes down to how good the takedown defense of Youssef Zalal is. Because I think we can both agree. Jordan Griffin's not this overpowering, dominant wrestler. He has a good ground game once the fight does hit the mat. Of course, we saw that in his last fight. And he is really crafty off his back. The problem is, and we talk about this a lot too, he's too comfortable off of his back. There's some fighters who can attack off their back. There's some fighters who should just work on getting back up to their feet. And he's a good enough striker. And like we said, he's a good enough striker in spurts. You've never really seen these long, kind of drawn out kind of showcases where he's really dominating his opponent on the feet. It's more just tap, 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 and then a takedown and a scramble. So I definitely think there's path to victory for Jordan Griffin. I just think Youssef Zalal, if he can defend those early takedowns, really keep this on the feet. Jordan Griffin's not a bad striker by any means. It's just he leaves his chin pretty high, and his striking defense isn't phenomenal. And I think a powerful guy like Youssef Zalal will eventually be able to kind of get to him as the rounds progress.
He's kind of like, and I mean, this is an oversimplification, he's kind of like 45's B version of Bobby Green. Now, his takedown defense probably isn't as good as Bobby Green's. We saw that in his last fight where TJ Brown took him down 7 out of 7 times. But it's going to be interesting because Youssef Zalal's such a different opponent. I mean, TJ Brown's a guy that trained heavily with a good buddy of his, Bryce Mitchell. So you knew what to expect in that fight. Now, in this one here, it'll be very interesting to see what we get out of a fighter like Youssef Zalal if he's able to work all of those parts, like I mentioned. And the fact that Griffin is a favorite in this fight, and if you look over on Tapology, it has 611 votes, 69% going with Jordan Griffin to get the win, 60% predicting a decision. Matt, I'm actually going to be, and I know we already talked about some of our picks beforehand, I'm going to be picking a fair amount of underdogs, and it has nothing to do with last weekend. But actually, Youssef Zalal is one of my underdog picks here. I think he's going to be able to get the win. I think he's going to be able to dominate at least the later half or later stages of the fight. If not the first round where he's able to wear him in and out, I think Youssef Zalal has some pretty good upside here as a minus 105 underdog.
So I definitely think Jordan Griffin is a fairly clear path to victory, even though I'm not picking him. If he can get that takedown, especially early on, I do think his ground game's quite a bit better than Youssef Zalal's, especially if he gets on top. But I do think that's the key. He has to be the guy on top. He can't be too comfortable off of his back. He has to be attacking submissions, attacking the takedown, really try to wear on Youssef Zalal. I just don't think he'll be able to do it. I think in the clinch, especially if they do end up clinched against the fence, Zalal's going to have a big strength advantage over Griffin. And then, especially once they're in distance, Zalal should be able to pick him apart on the feet.
Really good Muay Thai out of the Moroccan Devil as well. Make sure you watch out for that, Matt. We're both going with Youssef Zalal, the underdog pick. You're not going to want to miss this fight. I know it's going to fly way under the radar. And you know us at Fight Night Picks, we are all about the under-the-radar fights. You're not going to want to miss the rest of the predictions for the card. We have an extended look at the main event between Dustin Poirier and Dan Hooker. So keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks, Matt. And as we always say, let's get into it.